Hey, this ain't a drill. Only time I'm playing is on the field. And when I'm on the field, no, I got mad skills. And you know we about to eat this a fast meal. Y'all gotta pay for this heat like a gas bill. We keep on coming back, so yeah, they mad still. Everyone sick, make them pay me some bad bills. Red, white, and blue like Superman, so you know we eating at the Super Bowl. Kill the competition, set up the funeral. Josh Allen catching all the shots you go for. We callin' blitz. Ready to start, we ain't calling no quits. I'm the #1 draft pick. A lot of y'all talk, but I ain't hearing it. Only listen to Keyshawn and Harris. Talk about the Bills dominating on the field. All our players got them skills. Buffalo gon' make a kill when we talk about the Bills. Dominating on the field, and our players got them skills. Buffalo gon' make a kill.
And them players got the skills. Buffalo don't make them kill. Man, nobody could say it better than that. What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to another live episode of the Podium podcast, home of the all truth.
I got some sodium. I got some sodium.
All right, let me at least get through this real quick.
Go ahead. You can't look at me and then ask if we are all truth. I gotta tell you the truth. The truth is I got some sodium. Am I lying then or am I lying now? Which one?
Fair enough. All right. You're right. I want the truth. I just don't want the salt.
You don't want the salt. Got it.
Yeah, that's all it is. That's all it comes down to.
We gotta reduce some of that.
All right, listen. We are sponsored by Reed's Tea, best tasting tea in town. I am your co-host, Aramis.
Melly Mac, a.k.a. DA for today.
Ooh.
I am the DA, ladies and gentlemen. That is Devil's Advocate for today.
Oh, wow. I think this win might have gave him new life.
How do I follow that? This is just merely 40 keys, I suppose. I have no monikers. I have no taglines. It's just me.
Yeah. Listen, we can put DA on the new tees. We can get that done. You know what I'm saying? That'll be the new moniker. All right, what you got?
Okay, so we know one of the quarterbacks is not going to play anymore this year in the league.
Yes.
Deshaun Watson. Cleveland, you are officially a scumbag team now. Officially, I used to want you to do good things. I used to want you to be our sister city, whatever the case may be. The city itself might not be a scum, but this team, their fan base, scumbag.
Yo.
Shit, no, you deserve it as a dude gets, for real? For real? That's what we're doing? So guess what? Not only our future free agents that you guys are going to need soon, going to be like, oh, yeah, I remember that. These blue chip guys that can go wherever they want. Guess who else can leave? Guess who else? Myles Garrett. Why? Because they restructured his contract.
They sure did.
So Myles Garrett could be out of there. So what does that leave you guys? You forgot where you came from. But I know where you about to go back to.
Do you feel sorry for him just a little bit?
Who?
Cleveland, like the organization, because, dude, over the years, they done had so many first-round picks, and they have not done diddly squat with them.
No, I don't feel sorry for him.
Well, I think a part of this is karmatic. I'm just going to make up a word, karmatic, because you invested a first-round pick in Baker Mayfield, and we see what he's doing in Tampa right now. He's killing it.
Killing him.
So what that tells me is you just didn't invest the right coaching around him. You didn't put him in the right situation to succeed. And I think that's part of the problem nowadays with these new younger quarterbacks is they come into the league and these coaches want to, all right, you coming up under my wing, you going to do what I'm teaching you to do. And if you're not good at that, then you ain't the right quarterback for us. Yeah. Wait a second. Yeah. You just going to keep passing around first-round quarterbacks like that? Look what Sam Darnold is doing with O'Donnell or
and
O'Connell. Whatever.
That's why I don't feel Elizabeth sorry. Instead of passing them around, how about you bring somebody in and develop them?
Exactly.
How about you do that? You go ahead and get your offensive coordinator. What's his name? Ken Dorsey. That's your man's in them.
Yeah.
That's who you rolling with. That's what's hot in the streets. He was a big name. Right. And guess what? If your boy Deshaun Watson don't play next year, guess what? $100 million dead cap.
Yeah.
He single-handedly did what Josh Allen will not think of doing to Buffalo. He destroyed your dead cap. You have no leg to stand on if he don't play. Sorry, not sorry.
So, the word you used, the karmatic, do you think part of that is because of what Deshaun Watson's done? Like, you think that his past coming back to him, or like what he did and like. Because, to me, ever since he got the contract, he's never been – I don't think he ever played a full season since they signed him to that contract.
Was he really even ever good? I mean, he was good with
Houston. He was good
with Hopkins.
In Houston,
I give it to him in Houston. He was good.
He was good with Hopkins. Did he have Andre Johnson at any point?
No.
Okay.
Actually, yes, he did. I'm
he-
sorry.
he had
Andre Johnson's
weapons.
last year. But Andre Johnson was hurt a lot that year, and I think he ended up getting traded to Tennessee or something like that soon after. But he had D-Hop, and he also had the fast dude.
Yeah, Fuller.
Will
went through it.
Fuller.
we went-
Will Fuller, who
we
was
went
a
through it. He
beast
had
there,
a
too.
bunch of weapons, and I mean, and he was playing at an elite level.
Well, this is the other part too, and this is what I wanted to get out to answer your question. What Deshaun Watson had in Houston was he had a head coach who was an offensive mind,
Check.
right? He had weapons,
Check.
and they had a pretty good defense on top of that, right? So
Check.
So, so you combine all those things and you get an easier job, a much easier job for a quarterback to step into and be successful. It's part of the reason why C.J. Stroud is doing as well as he was, because they had weapons, they had the makings of a good defense, and they have a great offensive coordinator. That's the one thing DeMeco Ryans got right when he took that job. Mm-hmm. Now, for Deshaun Watson going to Cleveland, I think he's dealing with the same stuff that Baker Mayfield dealt with, which is it's a team that's not built to pass the ball, like almost at all. Watching what Joe Flacco did with that offense last year, it was special because a lot of people don't really want to accept this, but Joe Flacco is up in that upper echelon of quarterbacks from his day to even now. You know what I'm saying? And so
I'm gonna tell you to watch your tone.
So what I really think happened is both of those quarterbacks, Deshaun Watson and Baker Mayfield, stepped onto a team that wasn't built or designed to do what they do best. You know what I mean? And we see now with Tampa Bay, Baker Mayfield's fine. We see with the Vikings, they've built a system that Sam Darnold can step into and it's easy for him. And Deshaun Watson went to what was left of what Baker Mayfield, got kicked out of. And it's a team that's built for Nick Chubb to be great.
Yeah.
I don't know if the offense is that anymore because Ken Dorsey's their OC, right? Mm-hmm. So some of that isn't the same anymore. Their run game has not been that great this year.
Well, I think the reason why I say that is because we're caught by Deshaun Watson's last year in Houston. He almost had 5,000 yards. He had single-digit interceptions. I think 34 touchdowns or something like that.
Yeah.
But before that, he had 1 year where he barely hit 4,000 yards. He was 4-12 the year where he went 4,800. Mm-hmm. So I mean, he was okay. But it wasn't like he was some kind of perennially elite guy.
Yeah.
So when you go to Cleveland, you don't have those weapons that you said, and that's why I kept saying check. When you go to Ken Dorsey, you go to Nick Chubb, whose leg is pretty much backwards. You go to some guys who they're okay, but Myles Garrett saves the day. This is what Deshaun Watson pretty much is.
What I really think did it to him, and then I want you to finish your point, is taking a year off like that. Mm-hmm. It really can ruin some guys' games, just in general. You know what I mean? Because you're missing the live bullets. You're missing practices. You're missing the changes and all the different nuances of the game. What are DBs looking for now? He's essentially a year behind everybody now, regardless of what he tries to do or not.
Right.
Right. But to your point, go ahead.
But those are great points, and looking at it, I think you're right. I don't think it was built for him to be great in it. However, but where I was more looking at was the stuff that he did off the field, like the scandal stuff.
Yeah.
So that is that
maybe.
like kind of like, hey, you did this, because one of my things is I'm all for second chances. Like you make a mistake, I don't think you should be banished.
Yeah.
But I feel bad for Colin Kaepernick. He did way less than what Deshaun Watson did, and this dude got blackballed, and this dude get gifted a $250,000 contract, fully guaranteed. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's where I was going with it. Like, is this karma? Like, hey, you did something dirty, cool. We like I said, I'm all about second chances, but you come in and nothing since you came in has been good. Nothing.
I think if we're gonna keep it, I would say outside of or inside from the supernatural. Yeah. I think most of it is football related. Yeah. I mean, obviously with what I believe, what you believe, I think there's some degree of that. You obviously you reap what you sow. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I will say this: what we saw with Kareem Hunt, what we saw with who's the other running back for the Ravens that got blackballed? Ray Rice.
That was my boy, man.
You know what I mean? I think those instances happen the way they did, where those guys just couldn't get a job right away because that stuff was on video.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Yep. And here with Deshaun Watson's situation, he gets the first fully guaranteed contract because A, like you said, he almost threw for 5,000 yards the year before all this stuff happens, and B, none of this stuff was on video. You know what I'm saying? So like that's why you know, all these other players, and this is the thing that kills me about it too. It's not just these high profile players doing this stuff.
No, Kraft was doing the same thing Watson did.
Right.
But he's just a billionaire who can, like, you know what I'm saying? He's
exactly because so much of his persona is behind the scenes and just paying for stuff. Of course, he can make that go away. He ain't got to look nobody in the face. He ain't got to go out on the field. So
that's exactly why I tell people stop getting invested in the private lives of these players.
Yeah.
Because honestly, in your profession, in my profession, how many guys do you come across who unalive people? How many guys you come across that force themselves on people that we don't know about?
Right. Yeah.
How many people? I mean, so I can't sit here and say that's a good man if I don't know him.
Right.
And I don't know these football players for real. I don't know basketball players for real. I don't know them. So that's why why it irks me so much when we talk about this stuff. And they're like, well, I don't care about what kind of what you perceive is him off the field. You don't know. They have PR guys that sweep stuff under the rug. They got people that hide it for them, take the blame for them, whatever the case may be. You don't know. So instead of getting involved in the stuff of a person that you're never going to meet and probably don't give a damn about you, just appreciate them or tear them down for what they do on the field.
Right.
If it's someone on the field that's screwing you up or screwing up the team, then you attack them. But it could be the best person on the field and the worst person in real life. Right. Vice versa. Worst person on the field, best person in real life. But you victimize, you hate this guy, you know, because he's not good on the field. But why is it that you love this guy, but he's not good off the field? Which one is more important? Yep. Intrinsics or on the field? Right. So you really got to think about that stuff when you start putting these titles on people, and that's what drives me completely insane about this stuff.
Real quick, to the point you brought up, would you try to find a way to make the trade for Myles Garrett happen this year?
I looked at it, and I mean, if there was a possible way, I mean, the number still isn't low enough for us to really be a player.
Okay,
but if there was a way to get them off of more, I mean, especially if they're tanking and they want to
where is the contract right now?
I think they ate. What did they eat? If he gets traded, we have to pay about $4 million. So we don't have it right now.
We only got like
2.1. So, and we don't have anything to restructure. So
there's nobody that we can cut to open that up.
You had to cut a couple people. A couple people, and that's not even being hyperbolic. But
you still got to fill those roster spots, so it doesn't even matter either way.
Yeah, so it's tough. It's really tough. I mean, it's that's more doable than Devontae Adams when people were talking about that. But,
yeah.
I mean,
what about do you know how much do you know how much he's making per week? Like, what would his contract hit be by the trade deadline?
I don't know, but that was by the deadline. I don't know. I don't have that figure.
Let me look it up, because I mean, if it tells you what it is by year, we should be able to calculate that by the time
I can try to pull that while you.
Cool.
Yeah, I'll modulate on that.
So while you find that, Mac, what did you want to start with?
So I got one stuff to get out before I get to my DA moment.
Oh, I do have grievances before you go, but no, before you go into your DA moment. Do your stuff.
So this is the grievance period. Here we go.
So with the stuff, did y'all hear about the Jerry Jones interview?
Yeah, the
one with the radio show?
Yes.
I was thinking about Pagula the whole time.
How do you guys feel about that? Because, like, listen, being a fan, being a broadcaster, like anybody looking at the Cowboys organization, anybody could tell that they need help and they're in trouble.
Yeah.
Right? So I don't think that the question was bad, or I don't think he was trying to come at Jerry Jones. He just said, is it time to get – do you think I'm an idiot? Like, right. Honestly, if that was me, I'm like, sir, what is Mike McCarthy – what has he done for the Cowboys organization? Like, do you think you're going to win a Super Bowl this year? Like – and obviously,
he has to say yes.
You know what I'm saying? Obviously, he's the owner. He's the billionaire. Like, come on, man. Like, it never crossed your mind that maybe we got to cut ties with McCarthy. Like, never even crossed your mind. Like, I've seen coaches get cut for worse. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. Maybe he felt that it would be very stupid of him to do it mid-year because he can't get, like, a proper replacement. You got to get somebody to fill in. Mm-hmm. And maybe that's what, like, no, you don't want to do that. But I don't think it was a bad question or was it the wrong idea. Like, y'all need help.
One of the things that that me and my pop talked about with regard to Sean McDermott was who's behind him. If the Bills did do terribly this season and lost the rest of all their games, and Sean McDermott got fired at week 7, who would take over for him? Right now, there's nobody on this staff other than maybe the linebackers coach Al Holcomb, who would have a halfway decent shot at running the entire show the way that Sean does. Yeah. You know what I mean? So maybe some of that plays into the decision for Mike McCarthy. Like, do they have anybody else that could step in and do the job? Yeah. You know what I mean? Because Kellen Moore's not there anymore. I don't remember who their defensive coordinator is, but it doesn't seem like there's anybody else on that staff that could take over if they decided to fire him. Yeah. But keep going, please.
But yeah, that was my stuff.
That was your
stuff.
Yeah.
So let me ask you guys this: If Terry Pagula had said something like that. Feel free to step into your DA moment at any point in time.
Then he starts sniggling like, what? What's going on?
If Terry Pagula was on the radio talking to Sabres people about what's going on with the Sabres right now and said something like that, and even in the first 5 weeks with the Bills and these last two losses before these last 2 wins, what if he had said something like that? Well, like what? And I guess I'm just trying to get into the mind of a Cowboys fan. Like what do you do at that point? Because your owner is basically saying, "Screw you, I'm gonna do what I want."
Right.
What's your reaction to that?
I think I'll say the Sabres and the Bills, because the Sabres, I think they won 2 games. But anyway, so they're in the process of making strides to change it. So I can see them making the change. But like, to me, the Cowboys, bro, like, what, they've been to 1 playoff game in like a whole bunch of years, like, and all the losses they're losing at home.
Yeah.
So I don't know, like, overall, we all know, I think McDermott, playoff wise, is like I said, he's a great regular season coach, but I don't know, man. Like, Mike McCarthy just, to me, is worse. Like, at least with us, we're winning. We're going to the playoffs. We're going to win a playoff game. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's things to look forward to. It might not get you to the prize, but the progress is there. Where in Dallas, it's not there at all. Like, they're not even close. They're not even sniffing at the Super Bowl ring. Right. They're not even sniffing at being viable in the playoffs.
Yeah. Key, what you got?
So, this is going to be a non-football related stuff, but I just thought about it. As much as I rag on you about,
well, hold on. Before you go into your own stuff, I wanted to.
What about?
I thought you were talking about.
I gloss right over that one.
No, you said what you got. I thought you were talking about my stuff. Okay, my bad. Nah, I honestly, when I heard it, I thought it was hilarious because I thought about Magula right away. I was like, yo, what if it was Sal Capaccio? What would they do? If Sal didn't have a team speak, if Jeremy White and them, they don't really have to do it as much as Sal, but it's like, I just thought about it right away. I said, wow, you really, I could fire your ashy butt right away. I could get rid of you and put somebody else in there and say what I want you to say.
Right.
And I'm like, that's bold, man. That's real bold.
100%.
You
to
old
say
head.
that live on radio?
Like, yo.
Like, I went back and watched the whole episode leading up to that point.
I'm like, that Rolls Royce ain't got no tires on it. You keep messing with me, my boy. That Bentley you got out there, they ain't going to have a couple of letters on it. You're going to miss some seats out of your car when I get done with it. Keep messing with me. But no, it really, when you think about how they run the organization, are you surprised? Are you really surprised? Jerry Jones and Vince McMahon are the same guy to me. They really are.
Snap.
They're the same guy. It really.
Jerry Jones arranging hits for anybody coming up.
I can see it though. I can see it. I mean, it's almost like I don't want to say a cult, but it's almost like an inside organization where you gotta be here,
right?
Or something bad gonna happen to you once you get in. Once you get in, you can't get out unless I tell you you're out.
But here's what's funny. Here's what's really funny about that, and I think Steve has kind of said something to this degree. I find it really funny that people are really bagging on Jerry Jones for saying what he said and in defense of a team that is clearly in need of some kind of change. And here we have Sean McDermott, who it's been reported that he's blackballed people and box people out and not allow them access to the team or the players or whatever if they're asking too much of any kind of penetrating style questions. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And so for me, it's like, I mean, I think people need to make up their minds. At the end of the day, I think people need, if we're gonna love the Cowboys, then fine, love every little bit of it. If we're gonna hate Jerry Jones, and I don't like any team that has anybody that stands in the way of progress. I'll put it like this: the city we live in, there's people who stand in the way of progress, right? I don't like any of that, because anything that's supposed to make our lives better or supposed to make our jobs better or supposed to make the world better, people should be for it. Like the whole nostalgia, the whole nostalgia thing should, to me, I get history and I get the importance of seeing things that you're comfortable with and how it plays into the culture that you have. But man, you cannot let that stuff hold you back from getting better. I mean, we haven't seen a modern style jersey in how long? Like, we started to get some of that stuff when Nike first got the contract. The Atlanta Falcons got their new jerseys. Who else got their new jerseys?
The Seahawks joints with the color.
Yeah, the Seahawks got some nice joints. Like, a bunch of teams was getting some nice. And then what happened? People started complaining. Oh, I don't like that. I hate that. I like the old style. I want
the standing buffalo and all this.
Right. Everybody want, and then what did the NFL do to compensate? We'll bring back some throwback stuff for you guys, and we'll bring back the AFL. Okay, calm down. We're not.
I don't need to see Tom C stacking O.J. Simpson jerseys.
Right.
You gonna bring back the sleeves too?
Right.
They gotta have the long sleeves.
Right. You know what I mean? So I think for me, this is the foundation of all of my points. Whenever I talk about Sean, or whenever I talk about Pagula letting Sean, or whenever I talk about the mistakes that the team makes, like, so much of this stuff is done in the name of culture and nostalgia and holding on to the glory of the past that doesn't exist anymore. It just doesn't exist anymore. Ask anybody who's been a Bills fan for the last 20 years what they remember, and they'll all tell you they hate the Patriots. Never mind the Chiefs. Right now, I still hate the Patriots more than I hate the Chiefs. I'm actually okay with the Chiefs.
I say the Cowboys. That's who I hate.
Like, I literally watched the game yesterday against the 49ers, and I'm like,
I hate them.
Okay. I wasn't mad at it. Because
you're a Patriots hater.
Huh?
You're still a Patriots hater.
I'm enjoying every little bit of unsuccess they're having right now. Every last bit of it. Because I was one of those people that started during the drought, and that was the dragon that we could never slay. And for all those teams that I was fanatical about, for all those players that I bonded with, obviously from a distance, but all those players that I, thought of as, that's my favorite. I love that dude. Like Stevie Johnson, still to this day, favorite Bill of all time. Like, I love A. Will, but the second Stevie pulled up that jersey and it said, "Why so serious?" when they was playing against T.O. and Ocho Cinco, I lost my brain that day. Instant favorite player. Instantly. So, for me, seeing all of these different iterations of the Bills, and why did we get held back? Well, because we had an owner that didn't want to invest. Why did we get held back? Because we don't want to give a black quarterback a try. I forget the name of the quarterbacks, the black quarterback that we drafted, a young dude, and Wood something, but we never gave him a chance. He just sat there on the bench. Why didn't we see success? Because we wanted to build teams that ran the ball. Why? Because we're a cold weather team, and you can't have a quarterback throwing through cold weather.
What? Josh, you're doing it all wrong, brother. You're doing it all wrong, Josh.
You see what
I'm saying? You gotta dial that on back.
Do you see what I'm saying? But that all of that is my point. For 20 years, for 17 years, almost 20 years, these are all the mindsets that we dealt with it as a franchise, and it obviously plagued us. And we see even now, the Bills are not built to run the ball the way Sean wants to run the ball. Mm-hmm. We saw yesterday that this team can actually pass to set up the run. I don't want to get too deep into that, but you know what I mean? Like, to me, like that's the traditionalist mindset of complementary football and running the ball to set up the pass. Like, this all old people think. No disrespect to anybody from that era, but at some point, you got to let it go. So that's where I fall in, with the whole Jerry Jones thing. It just, obviously it bothers the heck out of me to think about, what we're dealing with, what the Cowboys are dealing with. I mean, the Steelers are probably happy, but to some degree, they're still dealing with it. Mm-hmm. They got a nice win yesterday. Mm-hmm. Do we know if it's going to look like that every week?
They're not going to play the Jets every week.
Exactly.
Jets are hot garbage.
Exactly.
But anyway, so still doing wings, all right?
Huh?
Still doing wings?
Yeah, they 3 games behind, man. Y'all might as well tell me what kind y'all want.
Well, no, I was going to say, when it pertains to, the hatred of the Patriots, I started watching when Kenneth Davis and them were running all over, the Patriots. I started watching when they had the snap-in Patriot on the side. I started watching their running back's name was Marion Butts. When you're 8 years old, that's the most hilarious thing you'll ever find in your life. Yeah. A running back named Marion Butts. Drew Bledsoe with the huge face mask. That's when so for me, the Patriots, yeah, they kicked their teeth in a lot, but I think I found solace in the fact that we broke ourselves too, by hiring bad coaches, by drafting wrong, by picking up Keith Ellison and thinking that's going to be our starting guy. People are like, what is this?
Right.
What are you doing? So I mean, in my mind, like we weren't putting our best foot forward anyway. So I really just was like, I don't care. Right. But when you say it, I'm really, who do I really hate? I don't know if I really hate a team, for what they do to the Bills. I mean, maybe Dallas, but when you hear about the team partying and having a ball the night before and Thurman Thomas losing his helmet in the Super Bowl, it's like
you should lose.
You're right.
What do you expect?
So, I'm like, everybody hates to start, but it's like you did it to yourself.
Yeah.
The Chiefs. Okay, the Chiefs. That's close, but could we have beat them in 13 seconds? Could we have beat them last year? So still, it's like they're advantageous.
Right.
They're not better than us per se.
Right.
They're just advantageous.
That's what pisses people off, though. Because I know this team could beat this team. It's not like, to me, back when Tom Brady played with the Patriots, bro, I knew he wasn't beating.
Like that's
them.
Yeah.
It was just frustrating because, man, I gotta watch this game. No, we gonna lose.
Right.
There's nothing we can do about it. Now we playing a team like, we could beat these boys.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
We actually
got a chance to beat these boys. Like, we're on the same level. Mm-hmm. We're not like outclassed at all. Mm-hmm. But
it's always we find a way to lose. We never find a way to win. So I mean, I can't hate them because they're not better than us. They don't dominate us, even though the record says so.
Right.
Even though the outcome says so.
Yep.
We shoot ourselves in the foot every time.
Yep.
And why do we win in the regular season? Because they're like, this is a warm-up. We know we're going to see them later.
Right.
They know they're seeing us. So they're like, we're not going to give you our best stuff.
This is our warm-up game.
Right. Yeah. We're going to let you think this is all we got.
We need to get some tape on y'all.
Exactly. We want to see it on film. And that's the thing. Like, the Bills, I don't know who they play before the bye week this year, so that's probably a loss. Is that the Chiefs?
Yeah, we played Chiefs before the bye.
Sweet, we'll lose to them this year, and because we are 0-7 the week before the bye.
And then the karmatic clocks will change and turn back now, so that we'll beat them in the playoffs.
Right on over.
Yeah. Okay.
So when you say that, I'm thinking, right, excellent. I shall wait.
Just so y'all know, this is exactly what Mac has predicted is going to happen. We're going to lose to the Chiefs before the bye and beat them in the playoffs this year.
And I think the stuff I had, if I may, when did you ever? I mean, let me ask you this: did you ever yesterday get worried? Were you ever worried about the game yesterday? Was there ever a point you're like, uh-oh?
No,
I was not worried.
Me either.
I was the one. Like I said, I was watching it amongst a bunch of people, and people were like, "Oh, we suck." Like it remind me of the guy from he's in all the Adam Sandler movies. We suck again.
So that dude?
Like every time something bad happens, right? The negative Nellies, right? Halftime came. When I saw that kickoff return and we're going to touchdown, I said, this game is over. Like, what are you talking about? I said, the Titans are not going to score another point. They're like, really? I was like, you heard it here first. The Titans will not score another point. Like, I don't know how much I watch Bills football, but they do this all the time.
Yeah,
They're not going to score another point.
My man always tries to antagonize me all the time. He always tries to get a rise out of me like, yo, Key, I'm worried. I'm like, for what? I'm like, they always suck in one half of the game. They're going to realize that they're actually good in the second half and we'll be fine.
Exactly.
Relax. And the thing is, I mean, we're not going to go into the game yet. I don't think. Whatever y'all want to do, I can go wherever. And Myles Garrett, we actually could do it.
Really?
We actually could do it.
But if we do it, are we like really like? Can we do anything else?
No.
Would you take that?
Instantly, bro. Instantly,
Well.
I would take that.
I mean,
Yo,
are you talking about this year?
Get out of here, bro. Rousseau, you can sit the bench, bro. Von Miller and freaking.
Well, you talking about this
Yes.
year? Because next year we can't do anything.
No.
That's the thing. Next year we won't be able to do much.
So
at
if
all.
we pull the trigger, it has to be this year.
It's this year. Damn. I mean, we'll have with Myles Garrett next year. We'll have like $4.8 million before draft picks.
I don't know. It sounds.
But we still got to replace like what 20-something players next year
That's what I'm saying.
on $4 million.
That's what I'm saying. It sounds good, but I will be scared if we did.
Yeah, but he's got out clauses or void years on the end of that, right?
No, the void years kick in. Let me pull this back up. His void years are 27, 28, 29, 30, which years we don't care
Oh, so
about.
we'd have to keep him until 26.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and it gets worse, and we can absorb it. We can absorb it in 26, but the dead cap at that point would be like, yo, you have to be on this team. You have to. There's no way around it. Sorry, Miles.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But you know what though? The Bills Buffalo Buddha says Miles has to cost us a first round pick. I don't care. Honestly, Myles Garrett is going to be. No, I'm dead serious.
You think I don't think you think I don't know you where you are? You think I don't know this? I'm laughing because I'm like, this man is all in on this.
No, for real. Because really think about this for a second. You saw yesterday. Your secondary is now starting to get in a groove. Rasul Douglas looks like he's starting to get back on board when you have both the safeties back there playing disciplined football.
Say it. We got another interception.
Got another interception.
Thank
yesterday.
you, sir. I mean, it was just a tip from excellently played ball.
A gift from the friggin' heavens.
No, it was a gift from Bernard or from Benford that he was in the right spot. Cash money.
Anyway, when I see him actually make a ball hawking interception,
You
then
won't.
I'll say okay.
But who cares?
No, I
He
care.
leads the team in interceptions.
He ain't Jarris Bird. I know
Clock that.
Right, exactly. He ain't Jarris Bird. I know that.
We ain't got enough hours. Not this year. November 3rd, we going to be here for a while. You make statements like that.
Okay, Mac, would you take Myles Garrett knowing what the repercussions would be?
So this is a head versus heart question for me.
Answer whichever one says no.
Yo, in my head, I'm like,
This ain't about you, Keyshawn.
I'm like, in my head, we'll have an elite pass rusher. Finally. Right? But at what cost, though? I'm like, man, like, am I going to mortgage the team and jeopardize the whole team of getting anybody else? Because I got to ask myself this. Getting him, does it fix your problem? Partly. It partly fixes the problem, but not entirely. And then how old is he? Is he 28?
He'd be 20, yeah.
And then the other thing, which is this is purely emotional, I'm still
29.
I'm still emotional over the Von thing.
Okay.
So I was thinking that because I was excited when Von happened, and I'm like, oh, we got Von, and then I'm like, oh. So like part of me was like, same thing's gonna happen, but even though that's just emotional, like you can't. There's no way to say this is definitely gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. There's no way to tell.
Could you imagine what his PED test will do to our salary cap?
Yo.
He's going to wear sleeves every week. Take them things out. He's going to be over with it. Like, yo, test him.
So to answer your question, A, from my head, from my brain, I say yes, but my heart won't let me do it. It won't let me.
Really?
It won't
I'm
let
the
me,
opposite.
man.
No.
Believe it or not, I'm the opposite.
My head says yes.
You would do it?
My heart says no.
My head says no.
Your
My
heart
heart
says
says yes. Like I would love to see what Myles Garrett on this team looks like, especially because this is why. Can I just touch on it?
100%. Go for it.
Greg Rousseau was out of his mind yesterday.
Yeah.
And the reason why I want to bring that up is because guess what? He's going to price himself out of the Bills' number. Because Greg Rousseau, 25% pass rush win rate, 30-something% win rate, 25% rushing or pressure rate. That's not going to get you enough, and that's a contract.
He's already making like $20 million this year, ain't he?
This
is the last year, final year?
No, Greg Rousseau, he's still on the rookie deal. Next year is that balloon one. So next year, 25 is when he makes 13.3.
Oh, okay.
But I do it weird because you have to commit before the fourth year in order to get the fifth
I
year.
thought this was his fifth year.
Nah, but the thing is this. He knows what his worth is on the market. Believe it or not, he's a 51st graded out run stuffer. So that isn't even that great. As a defensive end, all you do is run stuff and you're at 51st in the league. That's not beautiful.
Right.
But what you do in the Bills when you're the best one we have, even though Vanessa grades out better, we'll talk about that later.
No, we gonna talk about it.
We're going to talk about it. But see, Greg Rousseau is always a step late. He's always a step late to the sack.
Yep.
So pressures are beautiful. But if you're not finishing the play, I can't pay you for it almost. Almost, what did they say? Almost doesn't count?
Almost doesn't count.
Excellent song by Brandy, by the way. Anyway,
It almost doesn't count.
thank you. I'm glad you did it better than me anyway. But the thing is, like when you do it with your head and heart, like you said, Buffalo's heart. Oh, he's one of us. We drafted him. Let's develop him. Look how tall he is. How long he is. He's getting bigger. He's getting better. He's a cornerstone. The Bills are not paying you $15 million to be a pressure guy.
Exactly.
They're going to pay you $15 million to be a sack guy. And like I said before the game, you even said it was after the first week he had 3 sacks. I said he probably still won't hit 10 sacks. And you're like, what? I'm like, it's going to come in bundles. And he's at 3.5 now. We're at week 7, going on week 8. Yeah. So, he's going to have a couple more games. He's going to have a couple more sacks. He might get 8, 9, maybe.
They did steal one from him last game though.
He got half.
They stole one.
Yeah,
he got half.
He got that ankle. He got the
ankle tackle.
Yeah,
okay.
Just right. The talons.
Yeah,
he
just
grabbed
give me
the
the
ankle.
ankle.
That's how you did it. Just like we talked about, right? Snatch them ankles up. Buffalo Buddha says Rousseau dominates against bad tackles.
Yep.
Roy Collins says, in my opinion, Groot is a tradable commodity next year. Would y'all trade him?
No.
Even let's say we don't have Myles Garrett here. Would y'all trade him next year?
I gotta have somebody that I could be confident with that's gonna not do what he do, but at least give me some type of par where he's at.
Yeah. I think Epinesa could be that guy. I mean,
Yeah.
you still got to have Vaughn next year. You can't get rid of Vaughn until after next year and have it be stomachable. You know what I'm saying, as far as his dead cap hit. So I think Epinesa's under contract next year. Rousseau is too, but I think you can definitely get more for Rousseau because he's more of a known commodity. He's been on the field all the time. He's a first-round pick. You know what I mean? I think somebody would bite at that. I would do it.
I would trade him if the price is right. For me, the price is right.
What would you take for him?
If we're talking about, let's see. Okay. Realistically, and I know this is not, I'm going to answer your question directly, I promise you. Realistically, I need to know.
You almost never do, by the way. No,
I never can. No, I do it on purpose. No.
I knew it.
Because I can't just give you nothing easy.
Of course.
No, you have to beg for it. No, but I think what it is I have to figure out what his market is. Because he's going to be a free agent probably after that and after next season.
Okay.
So what I want to know is how much is the team going to – because they're going to try to lowball you. Yeah. I want a draft pick. And he's a friend second round, first round, in the first round pick. So, I mean, if you're talking about having a 1-year rental, you might get a third. And I would take a third. I would package a third.
Take a third?
Be good with that.
Yeah, I'll probably take a third.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, because worst case scenario, you got Epinesa, you got Von Miller, 1 more year at least. You have hopefully Solomon that steps into his role
coming up.
So you'll have more speed on the edge. Yep. You might lose that edge set, but you'll have more speed coming off. So that's a trade off that I would take. So
and at that age, Von will still be good at holding the edge against the run. You know what I mean? That's to me, that's tolerable. Kev says, get Garrett, then you can trade Greg. I think Greg's value would go down a lot if you already had.
Yeah, because we wouldn't have no need for him. It'd be expendable. They'd be
Teams
like,
would see that.
Nah.
Yeah, exactly.
You ain't gonna use him anyway. We'll wait.
It's kind of like fantasy. I just made a trade. Roy, you can mute your.
You can mute this right now, Roy. I got you.
So in fantasy, I made a trade. I'm trading Patrick Mahomes, Juju Smith-Schuster, and one other receiver. Who am I trading? But I'm trading 3 players for Puka Nacua, who's still on injured reserve, and Alvin Kamara.
This is a dynasty.
I think I'm doing okay in the trade.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because I needed like a number 1 type of running back, somebody that was very consistent. I think Kamara's got the highest numbers in the league behind No, he might have more than Barkley this year, don't he? No, he don't.
No.
He's like Kamara's probably 8th right now.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
I thought he had more than that.
Barkley's playing like he's out of his mind. He's a man amongst the boys right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So here's the trade. So I'm getting Alvin Kamara and Puka Nacua for Bo Nix. For John Connor, Patrick Mahomes, and Juju Smith-Schuster.
Immediately hit yes.
No, it's already done. She accepted the trade.
What? Expeditiously hit yes.
Yeah. So I mean, I think the trade works out because she needed a quarterback. She still gets back a decent low end, number one running back. You know what I'm saying? And she gets a receiver that she can use in that Chiefs offense.
Is this in our league?
Who, Juju?
Juju, yeah.
This in our league?
Well, I mean, keep in mind, he had 130 yards when the last game he played.
Is this in our league?
No, her team is bad. She's like 1-5 right now. So
our league?
No.
I'm about to say, you've been screwed. No.
Hey.
She need all the help she can get.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So that's why I even offered the trade in the first place. I'm like, maybe she might want the additional help. You know what I'm saying? Because all she had on her team was.
If we ever make it to where we're in an organization where we got a team, he's the GM. For far as negotiating deals, you're the money man. He's the negotiator.
Come be the college scout.
Hey, that's my job. I'm the scout. I only scout offense, so I don't know about defense.
We only do defense over here. No, I'm joking. And punters.
Yeah. I like this question. Steve asks, can we and should we trade Samuels, Edwards, or Knox?
Edwards. Who's Edwards?
Mike Edwards.
I mean, at this point.
Yo, did you know?
Really?
Well, Edwards has no market. And that's not being funny. He's on a 1-year deal. He stays hurt. Even though, did you see, somebody's going against culture. Somebody tweeted out something showing disdain for the Bills organization.
Oh, Mike Edwards did.
Yes, he did.
What did he say?
Oh man!
Basically, I did I send it to you?
Yes,
okay.
You did. You want me to
because
pull it
I was like, yeah, pull it up, please. Because I was like, where did I put it? I couldn't find. I know I saw it.
I think you sent it in text form.
I can't remember where I sent it, but
it's either text form or Instagram. Usually, you send me that stuff via Instagram. Let me check.
But yeah, no, Mike Edwards. Why you try to find that? Yep. Mike Edwards is at 1.3 mil, I mean, you're getting, a 7th rounder, maybe. You're not getting anything for him. And that's not even a slight on what his potential is. He has to get on the field in order for him to show that he still has whatever it is that he was coveted for.
Yep.
Who was the other one that you said? I'm sorry?
He said Samuel, Edwards,
and Knox. Get that $10 million.
Nobody's going to take $10 million off for Knox. So we have to eat some of that, which is a no-go.
Even with a team who don't have a tight end at all?
They probably have money issues, and they're not going to want to give him $10 million. So, I mean, I think Knox is good in this offense. I do, and I think people hate on Knox for what he does compared to what he gets paid for versus what he can do for what he gets paid for. He's on. I think he has like 6 or 7 targets all season, and he's caught all but one of them. So, I mean, to tell me that he's a waste no. It's just that they're not asking him to do anything.
They're not using him. Right?
Look at Dalton Kincaid. They logged Kincaid. He had 3 catches for 56 yards today. I didn't realize it was only 3 catches. But the way they were talking about him before I went back and watched it, I'm like, oh, Kincaid, no, he had 3 catches. Mm-hmm. It's all right. He did decent. Won no jobs. It's fine. But, yeah, so I struggle with trading for these guys unless the value is there. And you got to know what your value is. See, I want to go into this draft with as many draft picks as possible.
So Mike Edwards said Mike Edwards is sick of riding the bench.
Yeah, Mike, tell him.
And I was like, oh shoot, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Do I like this dude? I'm like, dude, I like this guy.
He's actually the best cover guy we have.
Do you hear me now? I'm tired of being on the bench. Get me in the game, coach.
Right. Never mind my sleeves. I want to get in. No, and when I hear stuff like that. Like, we went to we didn't go together. We went to the Panthers game. Mm-hmm. He was on the field warming up. He's not hurt. Why is it that he's behind everybody? He's, like, literally behind everybody. Jamarcus Ingram is over him. Cam Lewis is over him.
I think the attitude says it all. I mean, if you're putting this stuff out on social media, that means you came in thinking that this was your job to take. Right. You know what I'm saying? Or your job to lose, so to speak, right? And if that's a player's mindset, then that is really counterintuitive to whatever Sean McDermott is trying to instill in the building. Yep. So I think that explains, because like that's the thing about Sean. Sean is looking into these players' souls when they come into the building, and if he sees any kind of inkling of any kind of diva-ish tendencies whatsoever, you got to earn that. I got to see full buy-in from you. If you ain't full buy-in, if it ain't team first for you, then I can't rock with you.
Right. And I was gonna say, if you sign Myles Garrett and you if you trade Rousseau, you're gonna get $19 million in cap relief in 2025.
Man,
all right,
that would work. So essentially, we could get Myles Garrett this season, and then trade Rousseau next season, and have 23 million to work with.
19. 19.
Well, you said it would be 4 if we sign Myles Garrett and didn't make any moves at all next year, right? So I'm adding that 4 onto the 19 that we would get for trading Rousseau, which would make 23.
No, we only get 13 for Rousseau. Rousseau's only 13, so he'd be 13-3. That's what he needs.
Oh, that's what we would get in space. So what's the 19 that we would save?
Plus what we already had. So we actually have 5.7. I'm sorry. According to Spotrac, over the cap, I'm sorry, we have 5.7. Do you add that to Rousseau's 13.3, and that gets you that 19?
Okay, got you. Okay, all right. So we'd have 19 million,
which is fine. I mean, that's doable, 100% doable. Now, go ahead.
Kaiir Elam, are we doing anything with him this year? Would you?
If we don't keep Rasul, he might be starting.
I don't think Rasul's coming. He's not going to be here.
But he might be. He might be starting next year.
Yeah, but you're talking about what's this next year would be year 5 for Elam, right?
Next year is year 4.
Okay, so he would still be up under his rookie contract before the big 5th year boom.
Yeah.
Okay, so he'd be $4 million.
And usually that's how it plays out. He plays. He has a phenomenal. They try to get him signed real quick. Here, sign this. Sign right here. All right, he's good. He's locked up for 4 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right. And I think I would be curious as to whether Kaiir would actually do that. The way he's been treated in 3 years in Buffalo.
That's why you have to trade him.
I don't. Not to claim that I know this guy, but
do you?
The fact that
he might.
The fact that the way I feel.
Yeah.
And then when I finally get my chance, I'm a do whatever. Listen, I'm like, yeah, now what? Give me my money like I was worth way back then. So to me, it's kind of like a what's the word I'm looking?
Retribution?
Yes, that word.
Would you? But look at it like this though. I'm saying like think about Kaiir Elam going to Vegas to the Raiders.
The other thing is
and being that starting corner
so the other thing is too. Just me. Mm-hmm. If I had the opportunity to start, I want to start on a team that actually has a shot.
Says the man with the Bills hat. No, I mean, I get it.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we got a shot.
Well, I get it, but those are the hardest teams to crack. When you're pretty much a no-name person now,
right?
Yeah. And now we would love to say I'm going to go to Kansas City and start whatever, but those guys are the guys that go to the Rams or whatever the case may be, and have to make hay from there. If they show out there, then they go to the big names that and really make big money. So I think after this contract with Kaiir doesn't stay in Buffalo, you're going to look at him signing maybe a 2-year deal, maybe one year option, one voidable year we'll say, so he can move on if he does boom. He's going to bet against himself and he's going to probably flourish.
Yeah. Lindsay says Knox is a weapon when the Bills are in the red zone. Lindsay, I wish the Bills knew that. I really do.
The Bills just figured out that Keon Coleman can run slants.
Yeah.
They just figured out he can run slants.
They just found out he could play football, period.
Wow. Revelation.
Who knew what would happen when you keep throwing him the ball?
We got a big smile.
I did.
Well, yeah, this thing we knew because we talked about it. We have sane heads. We have sane heads. I mean, how many times did I say Josh Allen floods the pocket? What happens? Holtman's always open. Yeah. He's always there.
This is a perfect segue to go to my DA moment.
Go ahead.
Do it.
All right.
I'm excited.
So, I'm kind of doing this in a sarcastic way, but it is true. Okay? It might be sarcastic, but it's true.
You can't preface it by that.
Speaking of Keon Coleman, how many wide receivers were taken in the first round of last year's draft? You guys know off the top of your head?
How many wide receivers?
Yep, was taken in the first round.
other than Keon?
Keon was second.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. So we got Worthy, Pearsall, Neighbors, Thomas Jr.
Oh, this
Lad
year.
McConkey.
Oh, like 7, right?
Yes.
and Leggett.
7 wide receivers taken. First round.
Adenze.
All above Keon Coleman. Out of those 7 receivers, how many of those receivers have a 100-yard game? Let's see.
Malik Neighbors.
3. No, 4. Is it 3?
No.
4? Okay. So we know Neighbors got one. We know Marvin Harrison Jr. got one. We know Coleman has one.
Coleman's not on there. He's not a first-round receiver.
Oh, that's right.
Yep,
okay,
yep.
so then it's 3. Yeah, because Brian Thomas Jr. got one.
Xavier Leggett was the last one taken. Nada.
He didn't get one.
Ricky Pearsall. Nada.
I'm just happy he's coming. He's back.
Xavier Worthy. Xavier Worthy.
Is this a sarcasm part right
does
here?
not have a 100-yard game.
This is a sarcasm part right here? Okay, go
Brian
ahead.
Thomas Jr. has 1. My guy, Rome Odunze, has 1.
Oh,
Malik Neighbors
that makes 4. I was wrong.
has 2. And then Marvin Harrison has 1. Now, mind you, these are first-round wide receivers. And to my knowledge, if you're an NFL team drafting a first-round wide receiver, no matter what your skill set is, the intention is this. Either you are going to be the number 1 wide receiver on our team, or let's say I already have a bona fide number 1 on my team. You're going to be the number 2. Basically, I'm not drafting a first-round wide receiver to sit on the bench.
Can I play devil's advocate?
When I'm done. Yes. So if you draft a wide receiver in the first round, your intentions is I'm going to start this guy.
Yep.
Like I said, whether you're going to be the number 1 or number 2, but you're going to be on the field, right?
Yep.
Okay. So out of all these wide receivers, that was faster than him, better than him, and now we keep saying, how did we let the Kansas Chiefs get Xavier Worthy? Well, how did the Kansas City Chiefs allow us to get Keon Coleman? Because guess what? He ain't got a 100-yard game with all that top tier speed, does he? He does not, right? But we want to talk about how, Xavier Worthy, blah, blah, blah. Listen, I'm telling you right here first. Xavier Worthy can do 2 things: run straight, catch balls, and do sweeps. That is it. That's all he can do. I don't care what he did in college. He can't do that in the NFL. I'm telling you right now. He's going to be Marquise, what's his name?
Goodwin?
Hollywood Brown. No, he's Hollywood Brown.
Oh, yeah.
That at best, he's going to turn to a Hollywood Brown. At best. Mind you, he's the number 1. He was drafted in the first round, right? Okay, so coming into the season, KC had how many wide receivers? They had Rashid Rice, Brown, and Xavier Worthy. Brown went down. Rice balled down when he played. He did his job. He was number 1. He played as number 1. Boom. He's out.
He just gave everybody the finger, by the way.
So
I was waiting for
since he's out, and I got a number 1 first round draft pick, what is Xavier Worthy supposed to do? He's supposed to pick up the slack, right?
True.
What has he done since them boys went out? Dookie juice. Nothing. He's done nothing.
Hey, I copyrighted that.
Hey,
Okay.
he's done nothing.
I copyrighted that.
Hold on.
Dookie juice, all right?
All right, go ahead.
He's done nothing. Meanwhile, I have a slower wide receiver who's got 100-yard games. And mind you, he's got a 100-yard game on 4 receptions. Usually when you get those low receptions, it's because you can take it and you can move.
Talking about Juju?
Nah, Keon.
Oh, Keon. Okay,
Keon.
Okay. Yep.
Right? Again, second-round wide receiver, right? Look at the first rounds. Marvin Harrison, supposed to be the cream of the crop. He has 100-yard game. The cream of the crop. Malik Neighbors is balling out, being right now he's the best rookie out of that class. He has 2. He's doing his job. And guess what? He's the number 1. He's playing as a number 1. Rome Odunze, he has another number 1 on the team, so he's kind of doing his job. Brian Thomas is doing his job. Ricky Pearsall and Xavier Leggett, I don't think they really have they're in a bad situation, so they don't have that room to be that.
Well, Pearsall's in a good situation.
I mean, now, but Xavier Worthy was all lined up to be the premier guy when these dudes go down, and he did not show up.
That's true. That's true.
So I'm tired of hearing. I don't want to hear at all. Why did we let the Kansas City Chiefs get Xavier Worthy? You should be saying, why did they let us get Keon Coleman? Secondly, Stephon Diggs. How many 100-yard games this year does Stephon Diggs have? 0. Zero. He has none. Again, the number one wide receivers there is Nico Collins. Nico Collins went down. What did Diggs do? He's non-existent. I get it. Yes, I thank Diggs for what he did for Buffalo. He gave us 100-yard catches, 1,000-yard seasons every year he was here. I'm glad for what he did for us. However, at the end of the day, it didn't help us in the playoffs because we didn't get nothing out of it, right? However, I don't want to hear about. I'm tired of talking about Stephon Diggs. He's gone. He's with the. He left the team. He's not coming back. You might not have like how he left. What the contract is, cool. I get it. Fine. But what is he doing right now? His team yesterday got barely. If it wasn't for Mixon, they would have got whooped. He contribute nothing, and he's supposed to be the guy. So I'm tired of hearing Stephon Diggs. I don't want to hear about it no more. You will not hear me talk about Stephon Diggs unless we're playing him anymore on this show, unless we're playing him. If we're not playing him, I'm not talking about Stephon Diggs. No disrespect. Like I said, it's not like I don't like him, but it's not relevant to the Bill situation anymore. Keon Coleman, how bad people want to talk about him, he was the first wide receiver on the Bills team this year to get 100 yards. Shakir didn't do it. Matt Collins definitely ain't do it.
Hey, wait a minute.
Cade ain't do it. Nobody's done it. The rookies did it. So I'm just telling you right now, I'm not saying he's going to be that guy and he's going to number one and he's caused all our problems, but it's a good pick. He's paying dividends, and he's playing the way we need him to play. Right? Now, a lot of it is hindered on our offense. I think our offense still has not fully got on track yet. Hopefully they put it together in the next couple of weeks, but I'm tired of hearing about the Worthy and the Diggs thing. I just had to get that off my chest because I got tired of hearing about it for when I was watching the game. They kept talking about Worthy, kept talking about Diggs. Finito. I'm done with it.
Well, I think Diggs is, yeah, I'm gonna talk about it right now.
I was just about to say, you know what Diggs did the
No,
other
you know,
day?
I think the interesting thing about him was, and this is just seriously, well, not seriously, but seriously, when he got into a fight with Jair Alexander yesterday, tried to fight the whole.
Yeah, but Jair is trying to fight everybody,
But,
though.
no, see, Diggs, they really have a disdain for each other.
They got a history.
Yeah, that's
They
true.
got from that
They
Green
got a
Bay
history.
game. What was that 2 years ago, 3 years ago, whatever it was? It has never
That's right,
stopped.
because before he signed a new contract with them, I was trying to get us to trade for Jair Alexander.
Yeah,
But y'all
I didn't
told
want
me you got
Rasul. I
me
wanted
for Diggs.
Zaire. I'm like, yo.
Yeah.
But yeah, they would have unalived each other. Yeah, no, I you know what, the only thing I have to say about what you said, which I'm cool with, is the Worthy point. I think what it is like we talked about earlier with the fact that the Bills have a propensity for giving the game to Kansas City, have a propensity to giving the game to Dallas and these other teams. Mm-hmm. I think it's not so much Buffalo. Well, I'm gonna speak for me. When I went off the handle about why they gave them Xavier Worthy, it wasn't because I thought that Worthy was a premier wide. It was because they know something. They have a specific plan for this dude, and I don't want them to have access to somebody that can give them this plan. That was my issue. It wasn't I thought he was going to be I knew he was, I mean, he's better than what he's shown, but he's not a number one Pro Bowl wide receiver. I knew he was going to be a slide or something like that, where he's number two at best. So no, I'm with you. I'm on board with that. I think for Xavier Worthy, it's just a wow factor of it was our slot. Whether we want to say that they took him with the trade with us, and if they beat us again, they're like, yo, you keep giving these cats ammo. You gave him Mahomes, you gave him Worthy. What's next? Mm-hmm. And that's the gotcha. I think for me, the only thing I was going to say was tongue in cheek when it came to Brian Thomas Jr. Mm-hmm. and who else was it? Xavier Legette. Mm-hmm. Why were they drafted ahead of Keon Coleman? Look at their teams. They're hot garbage. They do dumb stuff, just like Cleveland. They do dumb stuff.
That's why I said they didn't get much of a shot. So
yeah,
I'm not faulting them at all. They didn't have a shot.
Yeah, I mean, Legette was the one. Had he came to Buffalo, I'm like, why? Because I watched. I mean, you guys know me. I watched college. I know, and I'm like, he had one big year. Just like we're talking about Deshaun, and it gets you dividends, it gets you paid because you go first round, you get that guaranteed contract. But when you look and peel back the layers of what he is, I didn't need that here. Yeah, so I'm glad he went elsewhere. My money was on Brian Thomas Jr. I mean, Elite Neighbors, I knew we weren't getting, but I would have loved to have had him here. I would have loved to have had him here, but I knew for a fact that was the one dude we had no chance at.
I wanted to trade up for Neighbors. I don't care what it took. I mean,
that's what I'm saying. I don't think there was anything to do.
You got me to settle for Brian Thomas Jr. But
You watch your mouth.
Why
are we kicking people in the booty while we? What are we doing? What are we doing here?
I don't know.
And no, it's not an AO moment because I said kicking people. Never mind.
We never allowed to say booty. We can't say booty.
He turned around like he was judging.
Oh, okay.
He was judging. He was like, keep going.
You was coming close. You was on the line.
I was coming. I was towing the line here.
All right.
But you know what's funny about your stats? I actually keep track of that now. If you look at the screen I have up, I had this up before you were talking because every week I look at this and I'm like, where does Keon? Keon now ranks number 3 in yards amongst rookies behind Brian Thomas and Malik Neighbors. Wow. Right behind Keon Coleman is Marvin Harrison Jr. and Roma Dunze. So
now Marvin didn't play tonight, so that could change.
That's probably going to change. And also Malik Neighbors had a concussion, so that he would probably be number 1. But I mean,
those two were the first 2 picked.
Yeah,
those were the first 2 picks. So we expected them to, even the first 3, we expected them to ball out. But what about little old Keon Coleman in the second round?
The thing about Keon Coleman that made zero sense to me at the time, even though I said previously that was going to be our pick. The thing I thought with Joe Brady, we were going to be Air Coryell. And I mean, for everything we love about it, you saw what happened when he got into a foot race. It didn't end well for him.
Right. I think he would have had that one if he didn't stumble. If he didn't stumble, I think he would have had that touchdown.
I agree with that. The
second one where he caught the long ball, and then he was running and he dipped out to the sideline. That one, I don't know if he was tired. He was like, I'm not making this touchdown.
I was like, go left.
That first one, I think if he wouldn't, I don't know if that was a turf monster got him, but if he wouldn't have stumbled, I think he would have been gone.
Yeah.
And then I really would have been going crazy. I'm about to say, 4.6? Do I look like 4.6 to you?
Right.
I would have been going crazy.
But the thing about him is, even if he got hawked every time, I'll take that anytime because he ran a slant and they recognize him on a slant. Yeah. I don't want to see Gabe Davis on the goals. That's not his game. Yeah. I don't care what y'all tell me. Not y'all, obviously. I love y'all. But I don't care what people tell me. When you're not in the red zone, I don't want to see this man running that way very far. If you're not inside the 20, do not make him do that. Make him do this. Make him do something that he can use his body. You see the one ball, he got a one hand on, he almost pulled it in. I was like, go ahead, basketball player.
And that kind of pissed me off because I know by the NFL rule it wasn't a catch, but any other situation, any other sport, that is a catch. If I throw you my phone, Aramis, if I throw it to you and you juggle it and you bring it, that's a catch. So even though he caught the ball and it was moving, it doesn't matter if it moved. It ain't fall. It's still a catch. But in NFL rules, it's not.
I think I'm sorry.
But baseball, somebody hit a foul ball. I bounce it off my glove and still a catch. Like any other sport, it's a catch except football. Yeah. And NFL, because high school, that's a catch. Same thing in college, that's a catch.
I think it's the sideline thing because we talked about the Ray Davis catch where he juggled it basically all the way to the ground, but because it was inbounds, like the ground didn't help him catch it, I think it counted. But I think for Keon Coleman, because it was the sideline and out of bounds, if you don't have possession before you get out of bounds, then
he had to reestablish 2 feet after he juggled because he had it
right,
and it was clean the first two, and then that third.
But that's just sick that we got a receiver that can easy, like he makes those type of one-handed catches with a dude draped on him look easy. That is one of the things I love about Keon Coleman the most.
And that's why. Sorry, Mom, I'm gonna break your rule again. That's why I was excited about the prospect of him in 14. Because 14 does some of that, but 14 also does the other stuff that Coleman. Imagine having Coleman number 2, and he's a bona fide for red zone monster.
Yeah,
you got everybody else getting you to the red zone, and he just eats all day long.
Yeah,
unlike Gabe, I'm sorry, Mel, I'm gonna kick you again. Unlike Gabe Davis, where you just know like one hand
over here,
he's getting destroyed. I know, just getting decimated. But no, I mean I saw, and that's why. Actually, I want to go into it a little later, so we'll talk about it. I wanted to talk about. I think this is somewhat what your title says. So if you want to go into that, we can. Whatever your thought process was with your thumbnail, where you got comments. I saw the thumbnail. I didn't know what you wanted to do with it.
So I wanted to bring this up real quick for the Xavier Worthy point. He's actually on pace right now to slightly beat Tyreek Hill's rookie season stats with the Chiefs. let me see. Tyreek Hill had 61 catches, 593 yards, and 6 touchdowns in his rookie season. With Worthy's role expected to increase, obviously, part of it is he still has to learn all the different nuances of this offense and get it all under his belt while acclimating to the speed of the game. Even though he is very fast, everything is still happening fast around him. So we still have yet to see that game for him where everything slows down. I think part of that is because he's been so much in spot duty. And obviously he's not with his frame. See, Tyreek Hill was a bit of a thicker player, even though he was fast. So I think the Chiefs felt comfortable, like really throwing him out there. You know what I'm saying? But this type of guy, Xavier Worthy, with his build, he's a little bit more slender frame type of dude. You know what I mean? So you can't really put him in all those same positions that you could with a Tyreek Hill. But all that is to say, I think it's going to be very interesting to see how they use Worthy next year and what Coleman does next year, because yes, as rookies, these receivers are coming into the league and they're doing big things, and the expectation only rises from there. And we have seen some receivers come into the league and be consistent from year 1 to year 2 and year 3. You know what I'm saying? But I want to just check one thing really quick here. So Jamar Chase was one of those receivers who kind of took a step back in his second season, and really it's just in terms of yardage and touchdowns. His rookie season, he had 81 catches, 1,455 yards, and 13 touchdowns, right? His second season, he had 87 catches, but he only had 1,046 yards and 9 touchdowns. So he was still productive, but when there was a book out on him, obviously he had to learn to add some things to his game to still be as consistent as he was in his rookie season, and he did, because the next year after that, he had 100 catches for 1,216 yards and 7 tuds. So I'm saying all this to say I do think Xavier Worthy is going to take a step up. He has to, playing with a quarterback like Mahomes. I just think this year, for some reason, we're seeing Andy Reid really just toy with the league, because for that team to be able to beat the 49ers with what they have, it is really just mastery of offensive play calling and scheme.
And Mahomes leads the league in interceptions.
Right, and that's so for me, that's one of the things that I wanted to bring up today to ask you guys about, because one of the things that we've seen this year is the whole reason for this everybody eats trash is to is to get Josh out of throwing so many interceptions.
I had it in my notes as well.
And for me to see Patrick Mahomes undefeated and leading the league in interceptions, to me it just destroys anybody's argument about Josh's gunslinging capability or tendency, I should say, not capability. His gunslinging mentality of wanting to just throw it around the yard and throw for 500 yards a game for 4 touchdowns and 2 interceptions every single week. I would take that. You know what I'm saying? If it meant that we were destroying teams the way that we watched Patrick Mahomes do, it really comes down to the mindset of the head coach. Andy Reid don't care if Mahomes throws interceptions. At the end of the day, I'm going to scheme up something. We're going to beat that defense. We're going to win.
Yeah, and the extra caveat to that, this is the worst year he's had average yards per game passing. Yep. The worst year, 231. So it's like, what is the formula? I had it in my notes. I'm like, can we agree, not you guys again, but can we agree that it's irrelevant? Right. Can we agree within the right scheme? It doesn't matter, right. And that also opens up the field for more touchdowns for Josh Allen.
Yep. So when Josh was doing it, they want to victimize him for it.
Right.
Oh, blah blah blah. But when he's doing it, it's like it's okay.
He's winning anyway.
Right now, barely. Now, if you look at all those games, which brings on the Bills fans, and not all Bills fans, but some of us were so fickle because we're so used to what the history have been.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Right. Where if you talk to the KC fans, they don't care that they barely win all those games. They don't care.
Yep.
They don't say, "Oh man, we got to change things up." Well, yeah, we won. Mm-hmm. But like, yo, y'all Y'all won by the skin of y'all teeth.
But we still won.
Exactly. but I'm still hearing, oh, we almost lost to Tyrod in the Giants. We almost lost to Skylar Thompson in the like why? Like
because we never had
like when we win, now they want to criticize how we won.
Yep.
When they win, they don't care.
You gonna leave my text message
Who
out of the
cares?
show?
Who cares?
You're gonna leave my text message out of the show. No, the only thing I will say in defense of that is because I am sort of that way, is because they built that credit up. They built it up where you're
they
like,
won Super Bowls.
Yeah, Reed knows something. That's why when
Yes.
Xavier he could have picked. He could have took, I don't know, name somebody. He could have took Boogie Bash. Like, oh snap,
Yeah.
he knows something because they won. So it's like, wait till we get a chance. We're like, yo, I don't care how we won because we won. But see, when I say it, I'm like, would that win beat the Chiefs?
Right.
Would that win beat the Lions? Would that? And that's how I think, because I don't know where we are when the lights are the brightest.
Yeah.
You know, they do, and they have that luxury, and they're like, whatever. The Patriots, they sip wine, they lose. We ain't gonna do it again, whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
Let me
This
say
is the time.
something. Let me say to that Xavier Worthy point. So when you talk about Tyreek Hill, the big difference that I don't think people realize is Tyreek Hill can play. He's not a one trick. He can do he can run every route. If you think about it, his build is similar to my guy, Lee Evans.
Oh, I thought you was about to say Steve Smith.
Same height, same weight. Tyreek Hill ran a 4.29. Lee Evans ran a 4.39. But both of them played on the outside. You can play them anywhere. They're thicker, short, but thicker, but they can run all the routes. Worthy cannot run all the routes. He's, like I said, he's like Marquise Brown. He runs straight, and he does jet sweeps. That's all you're going to get from him.
Well, so Lee Evans could run all the routes, but the quality of all his routes weren't the same as when he ran post routes or you know what I mean? Like his in cut routes, like if he ran a square in or something like that, it wasn't as smooth as a post route for him, or you know what I mean? And I think so. One of the things that we talked about here when we were scouting these players before the draft is Xavier Worthy got a lot of catches in college, and one of the things you have to be able to do to get that many catches is run a decent route tree. So I don't know if we can say he can't do it. It may not be as smooth, or he might not have the level of nuance that Tyreek learned or had going into his rookie season or whatever. I mean, because really Tyreek Hill wasn't Tyreek Hill until season 2, but I was just trying to draw a relation of, Worthy may not be doing much now, but wait until he's got a season under his belt and he knows the system, and then Andy Reid can then begin to just let him loose, and Worthy can communicate with Mahomes on that level, and they have that connection that Mahomes has with Kelsey, where they can look at each other and just know, you see it, okay, yeah, I see it too, let's go. Yeah. Like, those are the things I'm really pointing to. I'm not expecting Worthy to become Tyreek Hill, but I think if there's any coach in the NFL that can get Tyreek Hill out of Xavier Worthy, it is Andy Reid. So for all of that, to because I wanted to talk about your point too, with the Chiefs offense, these boys went into this game with 2 healthy receivers, 2. And Skylar Gray he's a tight end, but he's out there getting catches like it ain't nothing. He actually had, I think he was top 10 in points this week.
Well, he was a leading receiver this week too. That's
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what's
Wait, did we tell Roy to come back?
Oh, I
sorry,
really have
Roy.
not seen him in a while. That's true.
We didn't tell him.
But I did just mention fantasy again.
You did. I lost my brother. It's over with.
Roy, you still with us?
Dang.
So to your, oh man, I think I just forgot what you were saying. So I was gonna say, I just lost my train of thought.
You're saying the tight end. Basically we're talking about Xavier Worthy, I guess, being implanted as one of the top 2s, even though they're tight. They just can work with whatever they have.
Right.
Yeah. So okay, thank you. So I think for looking at your point of what you were saying about when we barely win, it's crucified, but when they barely win, like Andy Reid for years has shown that he can win with Todd Pinkstons of the world and
Yo,
the James Thrashes of the world.
You tread real lightly on that one. You tread real lightly with that one. That's a 4-letter word over here.
You know what I'm saying? And really, I think that's the difference in what we're seeing now. It's Andy Reid understanding I don't have to invest $100 million on offense. Mm-hmm. I just need an offensive line that can protect my quarterback and keep him upright. And everything else around him, I can make it work the way it's supposed to work. Meanwhile, we got Sean McDermott over here saying, I need my specialty to be the reason that we win games. And I got to invest as much money as possible on that side. Sure, yeah, we'll give Josh Allen a few weapons. Offensive line, we'll throw some pieces together. They may not all be able to do all the same things, but we'll make it work. I'll go get Aaron Cromer. He's a great coach. He'll coach him up. You know what I'm saying? And when you don't win with defense, it's, well, we're not playing complementary football. One of the things that I heard at halftime in this Tennessee Titans game was we have to play sound fundamentals football.
The right way.
What does that mean to you guys when a head coach says we're not playing sound fundamental football?
To me, it means blocking, tackling, and running.
To me, fundamental is stick to the basic stuff.
Yeah.
The basics, like no
razzle dazzle.
No razzle dazzle. Just
so if we're not playing using the basics of football, don't you think we would have been getting blown out in the first half if we weren't even doing the basics of football? Like, think about the offense that we have. We had to add Amari Cooper to open things up for all of our other receivers, right? Obviously, we're seeing that worked against a good pass defense, but we had to we had to go into halftime down by what was the score at halftime? We were down by what?
Was it 10-3?
Yeah, I want to say it was 10-3 because I know we scored 34 unanswered points, but
I'm not like I don't have it. It's right here, 10-7.
Yeah, so it was 10-7 at the half, and to that point, we hadn't played good sound fundamental football. It could just be me, but how did we score all those points that we scored? Was it running the ball down the Tennessee Titans' throat? No. Was it good sound fundamental football, or was it flashy throw it through the air and score a lot of points type of football?
You talking about final sure or the first half?
I'm talking about the second half.
Oh yeah, that was toss.
It was Josh playing background football.
Why? Yeah, I think really, did Josh even escape the pocket that much yesterday?
No, he didn't need to.
He didn't have to. That's the thing. That's the thing. Like, I was getting at that when I said what I said before the game when I was on the Friday show. I said I don't think we're going to score that many points because I think we're going to leave a lot of points on the field.
You saw how close he was to the score?
Yeah,
bro.
Yeah. And I love myself. I said, if they do these things, I think we're going to increase some points on this thing. And they did everything I said I didn't think they were going to do. Josh Allen was playing, 328 yards? Now what I will say, the run game absolutely drove me nuts. This is not a slight on James Cook because I did some numbers. Before I mention him, he was 2.7 a carry at the end of the day.
Yeah.
He was at four a carry before halftime. 4 a carry. Now, you want to know what his average yards before contact was?
What?
0.3.
Oof.
0.3. You know what Ray Davis's average yards per contact was before contact?
I'll say
now, mind you,
2 yards.
3 full yards before he got touched.
Well, they started running from under center when they gave him the ball.
That's right. That's what I'm getting at.
They don't run the offensive line to James Cook's strength. Yeah. They keep making him run up to
like shotgun.
Take him outside. Who's gonna catch him on the outside? Like, why do they do that? It makes me mad.
You all right, Maggie?
So and here's the thing: because James Cook is so good, he'll get yards in a bad situation.
He'll get yards,
right? So it's like, he can do it. Look what he's doing. Mm-hmm. But that's not playing to his strength. Yeah. Like, he has speed. Get him out on the open and let him cook.
And the funny thing
no pun intended, but let him go.
No, that was a good point. No, the funny thing about this is, no matter how you slice it, we were piss poor in the run game when we were running to Osiris Torrance's side. We averaged 3 yards flat. running to the right guard. Everywhere else, 2.3, 2.4. There was no grease. And you're going to run right into Vondre Sweat. You're going to run right at Justin Simmons and be like, yeah, well, let's do that.
We talked about this too before the game. Don't run at those dudes.
Like, what
run
are you
outside.
doing? I'm like,
right, they started running right at those dudes.
yeah, I'm like, yo. And Cook, I mean, he was getting hit behind the line. They had the penalty where there's a false start. He got hit behind the line. I'm like,
what made it even worse is for all the people listening to the radio this morning that heard Sal Capaccio say, well, that's the best thing to do against those type of defensive tackles. Obviously not.
right.
Obviously it's not the best thing when James Cook's longest run is 11 yards for the touchdown.
And he ends up with 32 yards in the game.
Right.
Yeah.
So, look, we may not be head coaches. Okay, Jerry, like we may not be.
We're not affiliated with anybody, so you can't fire me.
You know what I'm saying, Jerry? But dang, we do the same kind of work that the scouts and people in the NFL do to figure out what the issues are. Mm-hmm. And we talked about this, and we saw it play out in the game. Kevin said it. Kevin in the chat said, not listening to McDermott is why we came back. 100%.
Yep. That was not a McDermott second half.
It was not at all. That was a Brian Daboll second half.
Yeah.
If anything.
That was a Josh Allen, I want to do this. Yeah. That's what it was.
That's what we thought Joe Brady was bringing here.
Yeah. And I can dig that. I said in my notes, I said, this offense, who's beating it? Who's beating this offense? But the thing is, they don't run this offense all the time.
Right.
They don't do this all the time.
And they said on that touchdown where they were saying how Keon Coleman had to tell him, Josh audible to that.
Yeah. He's like,
same thing with Keon Coleman's long. It was a run. He was like, nah, one-on-one? Nope, no set.
Nah,
let's go. It was Josh being Josh.
Keon probably did what he did. But I mean, that's the thing, you know, and that's the beauty of it all. When you have your players in command, and that's the Josh that I'm talking about. Yeah. When you grow some, and you take control of this team, look what happens.
Why don't they'll do that from kickoff? Be like, hey, the game plan is, Josh, you're in control. Run. Listen, now I'm not. Don't slam me. I'm not comparing Josh Allen to Peyton Manning. I'm not doing that.
Okay.
Peyton Manning's a Hall of Fame. He's Super Bowl winner. He's the great one. He ran the offense. Mm-hmm. I don't care who his offensive coordinator was. He ran that. Yeah. And everybody was cool with it. Why are you not cool with Josh Allen running the offense? Why not? He could do it.
I think what it is
let him go.
I'm okay with him being collaborative with Joe Brady, but I don't think he vetoes anything until what we just saw.
Until it's like, yo, we not.
But he can veto anything he wants. He could say this is a hot. And that was a question I have for you guys, and hopefully your pops is watching. He can answer this for me, or you can do it on the film study. Is there ever an instance where the read structure, the sequence of reads changes based on the situation? So, for instance, like the play where he threw the ball to Keon Coleman, dropped on third down. Mm-hmm. You had Kincaid coming right over the middle, untouched. Obviously, they're going to say that wasn't the first or second read. Is there a time, because he knows every route that he's calling.
Correct.
Right.
Is there a time where he says, you know what, we need 5 yards. I'm going to look here and disregard the second read and go right to this third, which is now my second read. You know what I mean?
Well, I think as a wide receiver, when you live in the routes, right, I know what the play is called. I'm running my route, right? Mm-hmm. Let's just say, because the NFL defenses, they disguise a lot of stuff, disguise a lot of looks, right? Yep. So let's say based off of the pre-snap read, the guy on me is one-on-one playing man. But then when the ball snaps, he drops back and does his own. Mm-hmm. That changes, to me, it should, as a quarterback, it should change the read, because if I'm saying, let's just say it's one-on-one and he stays there, let's say Mac is the first read. But now that the zone comes in, now that read should change, because I'm not schemed open. Like, a lot of people are schemed open on the pre-snap based off of, like, you could say, okay, yeah, he's going to be open because he's doing this. So I think it should, but I don't know. Yeah. I would say that it should.
Yeah, and that's right. So ideally you do want to be able to know what your offensive play call is in your mind as you're looking at the defense and saying, okay, I know Kincaid's probably going to be open here, but I want to go here. Right? And as you're reading the defense, I'll put it like this. Most of the time, quarterbacks at Josh's level only need to make one read. if the offense is running the way that it's supposed to. You know what I'm saying? If the receivers are winning, if the blocks are winning, in an ideal situation, the quarterback should only have to make one read because they know what they're looking at defensively when they line up. So based on what I'm seeing, I know as soon as I snap the ball, this is what I'm going to see. That defender's going to cover that. That defender's going to try to take that away, which means I got this coming up open over the middle, right? But what has happened with this team this year before this game, it's been, to answer your question, it's been, okay, I know based on what they call, they want me to go to Kincaid over the middle, but damn it, we down by 17 points. And me getting this little 5 yards, we ain't going to be dinking and dunking the whole way down the field. I don't want them to think that's okay. That's not the way I want to run this offense. You know what I'm saying? So I know based on this play, we five wide. I got Matt Collins doing a pump and go. It worked last time. I know the safety is going to bite on it again, or at least give Mac a little bit of space, and I can get it past the safety, no problem. That should be open. I'm gonna take that. That's typically how it works in the NFL. There's the mindset of I already know what I'm gonna see. Once you get to Josh's level, you know what I mean? Like if you still Brock Purdy, you ain't seen, but Josh has seen everything now. You know what I mean? The only issue for Josh, as far as the sacks he's taking this year and all that kind of stuff, is just guys not getting open. So the point that I think I want to bring out to kind of support that thought that I just gave is, my theory is, I think the game plans that we see are Sean approved. They may not be Sean propelled, but I think they are Sean approved. And I think that's the nature of the relationship with these two young coordinators and Sean McDermott overseeing the whole deal. I think it's Sean approved. And I think what happens during the game is we see these Sean approved game plans don't really work. We got to make adjustments, and then they do, and the adjustments work. Mm-hmm. So all of this in the end does make Sean look good because he picked the guys, he put them into place, and you know, they're doing their jobs, they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. So technically as a head coach, he's doing his job. But I don't want to keep having to go through these first halves, and I don't want my quarterback in the locker room after the game to keep saying to the defense, we'll get it figured out. This is the third time this season that I've heard Josh say in the locker room before he says, win on 3, 1, 2, 3, win, we'll get it figured out. Like, I know the defense ain't going to be mad because, listen, we know Josh going to get it done. Right. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, is the offense going to get it done? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, you know.
Because basically what's going to happen is, like, when we go up with teams against, like, the Lions and KC and maybe even Seattle, like, they need to be prepared on kickoff. Yeah. Now, don't get me wrong. Yes, you do make adjustments throughout the game. Any NFL game, you're going to make some type of adjustments. That's part of the game. But that first half, it looked like nothing what they were trying to do was working. Yeah. Nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So let me see what you guys think about this. See. Okay, so I said this before the season started. My man Bully just said this just now. Let me see what y'all think about this. Bully says, I said Ray would be the number one before the season ends. Ray Davis would be the number one.
I heard you the first time.
Ends.
I heard you the first time.
And
you
then Billy D. Williams. Billy D. Williams.
Uh-huh.
Billy D. Williams said R. Davis is RB1. I'm going to say it again. R. Davis is RB1. What are you guys' thoughts about that?
I think y'all should just unsubscribe right now.
I'll go first because I know Kiki's brewing over there. I'll go first.
I ain't got nothing to say.
I'll go first. So, honestly, I think it's a perfect complement of each other.
Okay.
Like, the way I'm envisioning, like I hope they'll be, is like I know I keep mentioning Detroit. Like, can I just say I think Detroit's the best team in the NFL right now, bro?
Yo, they playing like it.
Like, the way they run Gibbs and Montgomery is, like, that's how you run it, man. I could see the Bills running Davis and Cook that way. So I could see them being both part of the offense and running how they want to run. But to your point, I don't think I've seen enough to give Ray the nod to be like the number one starter going in. Not to say he can't get there, because I can't lie, the boy looking good.
Man, that
he's
boy
looking,
bangs,
he's
man.
looking good on both sides. Like, I figure, maybe he'll be just a down here guy, be the banger, but he could catch too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I think at this point, for me, I would rather see them duel with Cook starting, but I haven't seen enough of Ray to say we might put him out first and then let Cook come in and spell.
Yeah. I before you answer, I just want to say, like, really truthfully, honestly, I don't need Cook to sit the bench. I don't need Ray Davis to be the only guy on the field. To bring out your point about the Lions, if we could have that,
Bro.
where the running game is just that good, you know what I'm saying? It's that effective, and we have an offensive line like they have. I was looking at the stats for Jared Goff yesterday, and by halftime, the dude was 12 for 12 for like almost 200 yards. Like, yo, the dude didn't miss a daggone pass playing against probably the best defense in the league right now with the Vikings defense. Like, what they've been doing to good teams is something to be said. Yeah. And here Jared Goff is just going down, you know what I'm saying? Going upside their head with it. Like, all right, I'll open up the floor for.
I want to talk about Amari Cooper, so we'll make this quick. We'll make this very, very swift.
All right, go ahead.
James Cook is still the number one running back. I mean, it's just, come on now. Like you said, we saw some excitement. We saw stuff to get excited about. We saw stuff that we should be like, oh, we got a running back. We have thunder and lightning. Yes, we do. However,
just say his name for me one time. I just want you to say his name for me one time.
Who, Himbo?
No. I just want you to say
Let
his
me
name.
get to it. Let me get to it. Let me ruminate here. No. I mean, really, let's think about it. They're equivalent yards before contact. They're equivalent. Well, I think James Cook still averages more yards per carry. It depends on what you like. If you want to play a game like you played yesterday, Ray Davis, of course. But if you want to play a fast-paced game, you get James Cook in there. How many receptions did he have yesterday? Did James Cook catch a ball yesterday?
I don't think so.
No, he didn't.
Yeah.
That's part of his game that they just took out of the whole playbook.
Well, I mean, we've seen Ray Davis make some amazing catches this year.
We've seen James Cook take it up the field for 47 yards by foot. So, I mean, like I said, It's exciting.
Yeah.
It's a wild play, but 47 yards is 47 yards. I mean, my thing is let Ray Davis get his Pro Bowl. You did it right first. That's what I'm seeing. Let Ray Davis get his Pro Bowl. Let Ray Davis get his 1,100 yards. Let him do what Cook did. Then we'll revisit it in the season.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
But honestly, right now, Ray Davis or James Cook, we win a game. We won the game. We're winning regardless.
I just would really like to see some a serious focus, or I should say a serious vision for what this offensive line should be in front of Josh Allen. I think if Sean is truly serious about playing the fundamental football and stuff like that, then he needs to put a line in front of Josh that can do everything that needs to be done. Like, think about what the Green Bay Packers have had every single year. They've always had a franchise QB since I've been alive. You know what I'm saying? They've had a friend. Why though? Because they've invested in the offensive line to protect that guy. That's the one thing the Green Bay Packers have always had is offensive lines and franchise quarterbacks. And then after that, they've had pretty darn good running backs. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I think the only time that they haven't really had good running backs was up under is it Mike McCarthy when he was there? Because they got one now. They traded for Josh Jacobs.
They had our boy from here.
Oh, James Starks. That's right. They had James Starks. So they've had good running backs. The running backs do well because they have a good offensive line, and they have franchise quarterbacks. So that they understood what was necessary for the team to be successful and for the quarterback to be successful. They needed a good quarterback, and then they needed to protect the quarterback. Mm-hmm. Buffalo is no different than Green Bay in terms of weather. They may get it a little bit worse, but if you're talking about this type of cultural football that everybody seems to think we need to play, to so much so that we can't hire a guy like Xavier Worthy onto this team to be a real wide receiver, not just a gadget dude, to the degree where we got a Curtis Samuel that's getting hurt now because we keep putting him in situations to get tackled by 4 people. Like, I think the one thing that Josh has needed since day one has been an offensive line that makes his job easy. And now we have 2 running backs that, if they were behind the Lions' offensive line, they would be, in my opinion, much better than what they got there now. That's just my opinion. Like, to me, Jahmyr Gibbs and James Cook could probably be the same player.
Yeah. Jahmyr Gibbs and Cook is pretty good. I think
Ray Davis and Montgomery?
I think Davis adds a little bit more than Montgomery, because Montgomery,
I
he's
agree
a
with
down here runner, but he can do more, I think.
Yep, he's faster.
Yeah.
I think he's faster than Montgomery. Montgomery might be a little bit more, because we still haven't seen Ray Davis. Like Montgomery was the main dude in Chicago. You know what I'm saying? And we saw he can sustain himself over a season. We don't know if Ray Davis could do that with that many catches yet.
Right.
But based on what I'm seeing, I feel like he could.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So anyway, all of that is to say, the Bills need to seriously, over the next couple of years, really start thinking about offensive line, because as Josh gets older and as he starts to run less, and that's part of what we're seeing this season, he's had plenty of opportunities to do it, he's just not doing it. He's going to end up getting hurt. Quarterbacks get hurt more inside the pocket than they do outside the pocket, and if they don't protect him, it's going to get bad really quick.
Yep.
What you got?
No. I was gonna fast forward to Amari Cooper. I don't, like I said, I don't know what the thumbnail was pertaining to. So if you want,
okay. So let me ask you guys this question. And I'm gonna apologize to you ahead of time, bro.
you gonna say Worthy? You gonna say Diggs? Which one?
Go ahead.
He's like,
so the question is, based on what you've seen yesterday, now,
this is what I thought.
are the Bills better than when we had Diggs, or are they just different than when we had Diggs?
Can I add a caveat in for understanding? Seriously, this is a serious one.
Okay.
Because I think the Keon Coleman factor versus Gabe Davis makes this question very different.
It does.
Very different. That's
okay, you know what? I'll allow that, even
honestly,
if you want to bring that up.
Right now, I feel like we got a 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Plus, we got Shakir.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think right now, even though I know he's got the accolades and got the stats and all that, but I think our wide receiver room right now is better based off of Cooper, Shakir, and Coleman.
I thought they were better before Cooper.
with Mac Hollins in the
I thought they were better, because you look at Diggs. I know we're not supposed to say the word, but
no.
You want me to bleep it out every time?
I think so.
Hold on. Let me say this. The reason why I brought that up is because I'm tired of hearing like the whole. We should have had like the comparisons.
I got you.
How we would have had this, Not to say that we can't bring up his name like it's just.
I'm never saying anything like
talk about him.
I'm scared. He's wearing the fatigues and everything. I'm worried.
The comparisons.
Talking about Stephon.
But I mean, I think with Diggs, had he ever missed a game, we would have saw how bad that wide receiver core actually really was.
Yeah.
You look at the names you have. I bet most people couldn't even name most of the wide receivers on the team when we had Diggs. You had Gabe Davis, you got Steph, you'd be like,
yep. And
what's his name again? Who's that guy? Was that Kumaro? What was his name?
Right.
McKenzie? Yeah, we did have McKenzie.
Yeah. But obviously Beasley is a caveat to that. But to answer your question, I think Cooper is what makes this team. Cooper isn't the team like Diggs was. But I think Cooper makes the team much better because, for everything that everybody wanted Curtis Samuel to do, it's just not happening. Everybody, what they wanted Mac Hollins, they didn't use Mac Hollins correctly. Sounds like somebody else, I will say number 13, that we had before. They misuse people. And I think Keon Coleman was headed down that same track. So I think the fact that we bring in Cooper allows you to settle everybody we're supposed to be. Because they don't want to move Shakir out of that slot. No. That's where they don't want to move him. So
he also went 7 for 7 again.
Wow.
7 targets, 7 catches.
I had a stat last. He went like 789 days since he had a drop. 789 days since he had a drop.
That dude he's more than a security blanket, bro.
And that's as of last show. So whatever it is now, 789 days on top of 7. So was it 796 now?
Wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, he's Beasley 5.0.
5.0.
Forget the 2.0.
He's
The
like
upgrade.
Mach 3.
Yeah,
That's him with the super serum.
On roids, yeah. Yeah, the Spidey
the
juice.
super soldier in him.
I mean, that's it's mind blowing how good Shakir is, and people, and that's why I asked, when people say they discredit him as a number one, you have to start somewhere. Maybe not right now, maybe. And I would have been fine if he was the number one option we had this year.
Actually, can I ask you to do you mind clarifying something you said? Because my pop asked me about this. You the last episode you mentioned Shakir getting the opportunity to be the number one. Do you remember what you said about that?
I don't really remember what I said.
Okay, I think you were saying something to the effect of Shakir could be the number one here.
Oh, I vaguely I can kind of paraphrase based on what I think I said.
Yeah.
Because everybody was talking about how Cooper was far and away better than Shakir.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, why? Obviously he went to Alabama. Shakir went to Boise. Yeah. Obviously he has a 9-year career now, 10th year career, where Shakir's in his 3rd year. But my thing is, Mark Cooper started somewhere. He had drops before. He was a drop man before. He did this. So to say that it's not like he walked on water when he came into the league. And if Shakir came into the right situation where he was asked to be, a number one, I think he could be at least an adequate number one wide receiver.
So you think it's just draft position background where he came
think
from?
I think that's really what it is. It's the demographics. I think people like that's the Bills' culture. The Buffalo Bills always want to get somebody that somebody else already had. Like I'm not going to say I don't want to pick on it, but even for CD Lamb, not because you want him, but CD Lamb's. We saw them do it already on this league. All they want to say is they can do it on this level.
They don't want to get the guy in college that was doing big things. They want to get the guy. Well, this guy did well in the league, and he's already a name, so people won't get mad at us if we get him.
Right, exactly. And that's what and that's my knock on the Bills. I think that the scouting department, and you have to have faith in the fact that you can develop, because they always talk about what they say, draft, develop, and repay or whatever it is. Yeah. But they don't ever do it. Wyatt Teller. All you needed was another year. I saw it when he was a rookie. I said, this dude's going to be a beat. We traded him. What do you mean? Why did we do that? Now he's an all-pro. And things like that occur. And like I said, you don't hit everything. But the signs were there with guys like Wyatt Teller, and they're like, we need it now. We need this now. So every time you go out to get Von Miller, and that was what I was kind of displaying last week. What about Ojulari? What about guys you could have drafted? What about even yesterday, Jalen Harrell from Michigan? He had a sack, 7th rounder. What happened? We got a guy from the UK that's not even suiting up in the 7th round. What are we gonna do with him? He's a 6'7", 301-pound dude. You're gonna want an offensive line? Are you kidding me? He should be a D tackle, or maybe he should be the Alex Carrington. The group replacement, if you will, a run stuffer, because ain't nobody gonna move him. He's a rugby player. Right, who's moving him?
Right.
But instead, you want to put him as a guard, as a 6'7" guard with long arms. That makes a lot of sense, because we've seen that before.
Right. Little light version of Steve versus Steve. This one might be a little easy.
I don't know. I'm scared now.
All right, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
So, Steve, number one.
I
know, we need some music for this. Hold on, let me see what we got here. I might be able to find something good. No, because then we get copyrighted.
Right, we don't want that.
Yeah.
Can't do none of that. We just a small town.
Maybe we could take the Jeopardy and just remix it.
We could play it backwards.
I want to say.
We could just play it backwards and they would never know.
All right, I'm going to play this. All right. We can't even hear it because I got it turned down so far.
Steve versus Steve.
Yeah, right.
Fight.
All right, here we go. You ready? Oh, dang, there's so many comments that came in here since. Oh, okay, here we go. All right, so Steve number one says, Cooper and Diggs, wash. Davis versus Coleman, wash. Shakir versus Beasley, Shakir. McKenzie versus Samuels, McKenzie. Holland versus Kumaro. Wide receivers are about the same, but now we have 2 good tight ends and 3 good RBs. Okay? Steve number 2. with the addition of Cooper, I feel like we have a number 1 and 2 number 2s in Shakir and Coleman.
That's it.
That's it.
You said it's gonna be easy. I'm gonna say, man, I always go Steve Lynn first and Steve Noble second.
I'm gonna stay with that. Steve Lynn second, Steve Noble. Oh no, Steve Lynn first, Noble second.
That's where I'm gonna go.
So shocker, you guys got it right.
Ooh. I was nervous. I'm like, now he started adding stuff to this game, and I'm like, now I'm scared. At first, there was nothing to it. It's like, whatever,
right.
No consequence, no harm, no foul. Now it's like, let's play for keeps.
Just to mess with you a little
We
bit.
playing for keeps now.
That's right. It'll make you sweat a little bit.
And that's okay. This is a caveat to the Cooper thing. Now we're already talking about a second contract. We're talking about re-signing this dude.
Yeah, I don't know if I would do that.
I don't know.
Whoa, wait a minute.
What?
We're in full agreement?
Yeah.
This has never happened before.
That's true.
We
We need to play the lotto.
never happened before.
We need to play the lotto.
We
Never all three of us agree.
Ever. I saw somebody recommend a figure this is 2 years, $24 million.
What?
So, it's a low-end number for a number 1, which I don't think he's going to go for. He just came off of a 5-year, $20 million contract.
How much does he make? How much was he making before they
20 per.
did his schedule?
20 per.
20 per.
So he went down to 12.
He's going to. He's going to want, especially if he has a decent year here. He's going to want to get paid.
Well, because he might want to win at that
17
point.
mil. I'd say 17
at
at the earliest.
I think
17.
he would take 12. Yeah, I think he would take 12.
Do you think he would take 12?
I think he would, if it means he got to. Because you got to keep in mind he's not had this kind of opportunity to go to a team that has a real shot at winning a Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? Like, think about the guys he's played with.
Well,
so would he take less money to play with Josh Allen? And the other part of this though has a lot to do with how they do this season. If they can get past the divisional round this season and he gets a chance to see conference championship football, man, listen, I think he signed the second they lose. Y'all got a contract for me, bring it here.
So he's 31. So would you rather do after this year? Would you rather get him for? I know you hate him, but in this case, would you go for a 1-year deal or would you want to do like a 2-year?
I wouldn't. Well, if they did a 1-year deal, it would have a void year or two, so that would suck. That would really suck for us.
So it's good. It's good. So those are good for the player, not for the team.
The 1-year deals,
Yeah.
they're not good for the team.
Yeah, so especially if they have void years, because what that is you're getting paid that first year, and then when he's still on the book for the second and third, even though he's not on the team, which is trash. They just use those years to spread out the cap, and I want that cap hit and quit. It's like people talking about credit. If you can't afford it, don't buy it.
Right.
And for me, this is a huge year for wide receivers. A huge year for college wide receivers.
Hold up. Even so, you do realize that this year we had 7 was the most since the Lee Evans year, like that was the most. So you saying there's even more wide receivers coming out this year?
This is in college.
Yeah.
I'm talking about there's guys that I really really like. I wish Whittle was on because for one, the guy Teteroa McMillan from Arizona, he's 6'5", 210. He runs a 4.44. You'll love it. Has hands like butter.
Is that like
runs the routes?
Is he like that you're kind of giving me DK Metcalf vibes?
But wait a second. What school did he play at?
Arizona.
No,
Pac-12.
that's too prominent.
Too prominent.
Oh yeah, no for McD.
It's too prominent. No,
But they're more of a basketball school. No, I'm joking.
Yeah. He needs to come from like Syracuse or something.
Right.
Like that.
Well, I have Isaiah Bond from Texas, that would be the win of wins. Isaiah Bond for me would be the win of wins.
Who is he replacing on the team? Like, are you taking somebody off?
I would
Probably
he'd be Cooper. He'd be Cooper for me.
Oh, okay.
That's him.
Not signing Cooper next year.
Not signing him.
Okay.
Premier route runner.
And then keep Shakir and Coleman. Okay.
4.3 speed. Premier route runner. Good body size.
How big is he?
6'1", 203.
Man, I'll take that.
Yeah,
What's his name? Bond.
Isaiah Bond.
I had to put him on the tracker.
Right.
Put him on the tracker. Luther Burden from Missouri. Luther Burden is about 5'10", 190. He high points the ball like you would think he's bigger. He's a fast guy. He's got hands. These guys have hands.
Something about when you said that just make my skin crawl. It just made me think about friggin' Sammy Watkins. Oh, he's 6'1", but he plays like he's 6'4".
Watch that high points the ball like he's 6'4".
Yeah, I No, that's the same
Not
thing they
plays
said
like
about
he,
Sammy
no. He
Watkins.
plays like his size. But I mean,
Okay.
you're looking at maybe a poor man's. I guess it was a poor man's. What's his name? Tyreek at that size, I guess, if you want.
All right.
He's not as fast as Tyreek. Don't get me. But that's more. He's a stronger player.
Yeah.
His running mate Theo Weiss or Weiss rather, 6'2", 190. He's a slider frame, fast as all get out. When I watched him play against UB, I had to watch him again, and he checks every box. Every box. Then you got a guy from Penn State, Julian Fleming. He needs some Rogaine. I'll tell you that.
Already?
It's tough.
I lost my hair at 25. Okay,
This dude got to be what, 20, 19 maybe?
23.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
the older guy. Okay,
But he's a transfer. He came from Ohio State. I mean,
okay.
he reminds me of Keon Coleman with speed. Keon Coleman with speed. Big body dude. Was what a winner? Okay.
Billy D said Luther is a beast.
He is a beast. So Billy, you tell my comrade A, don't worry about that 6'4" playing.
So Luther.
This dude's a beast. Luther,
Not Luther.
Burton.
Luther.
Burton, beast.
Damn, we know who you with.
Maybe this will check your fancy. Iomanor from Stanford. Stanford.
And I like the names. Exotic.
Yeah. Elick.
What's his name?
Iomanor. I'm sorry. Ayomanor. Elick. Elic.
Okay.
He's from Canada.
Okay.
Big body dude.
How big?
I think he's 6'3".
Okay, talk to me.
Yeah, 206.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Would he run?
About a 4'4".
Okay.
All right. Yeah.
He likes contact. He really likes contact.
He likes contact.
He likes contact.
Okay. Yeah.
Strong
That's
hands. He doesn't have drops. I mean, these are the guys that you can get in and say, you know what, Cooper, it's cool. We like you. Thanks for everything you've done.
Thank you for your service.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think there are a lot of options for them to get in there and say, you know what, we can draft somebody and use him as that number one because Keon's going to be in his second year. He's going to come into his own. We just need somebody younger and more cost control in order to move into the future. If you want to get a Myles Garrett or somebody like that, if you want to be players for people like that again, you have to think about it, doing it differently. Especially not these old cats. Cooper be like you said, 31, 32. Just got to stop that.
Yeah. Alton Rowe, welcome to the show, my man. If you have
show.
not been here before, definitely you part of the family now just because you jumped in the chat. That's what it is. Ask everybody around here. We all family, all right? Rowe says, Worthy falls down when he has to change direction. Just ask Mahomes. Interception.
Yes.
Happened yesterday.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's all you needed. What?
He like push the button.
Listen.
Right. I'm going to have to get it for
Listen.
him. One time.
I have a who's who game before we go.
Okay, let's do it now.
Want to do it now?
Yeah, we got 4 minutes.
Who am I? Wide receiver in 2019, he had 46 catches, 584 yards, 7 touchdowns.
Say that one more time.
46 catches.
46 catches.
584, 7 tutties.
Last year?
2019.
2019.
Yep.
So 5 years.
So that was his rookie year. 2020, 58 catches, 769 yards, 8 tutties. Third year, 91 catches, 1,000 yards, 6 touchdowns. Fourth year, 67 catches, 709 yards, 3 touchdowns. 2023, 51 catches, 574 yards, 4 touchdowns.
He played for us?
No.
He didn't play for us.
Nope. Now, the double questions. Is this a number one wide receiver based off those numbers? Would you guys say this is number one wide receiver?
Would I say he's number one?
Yep. So out of 1, 2, 3, 4, out of 5 years, he's had 1,000-yard season.
The only way I would say he is a number one receiver is
Wait, he played from 19
to 23.
he's out of the league now.
He's playing now. I just don't
He
want to
didn't
give.
put
I don't
you-
want to.
Yeah.
I would probably say no.
Mm-hmm.
Unless he was the reason somebody else really got off. For instance, if he
If
drew
he was
all
a
the
number
coverage,
two receiver,
and
yeah.
somebody else got off,
Okay.
okay. But I would say no.
What would you say? Number one?
No, I can't.
Okay. Can y'all guess who it is?
T. Higgins?
Nope.
No, I was going to say I was the first, but I was like, he even went 1,000 yards at some point.
Yeah. Well, this receiver did.
Oh, he did.
He went once.
There's a lot of numbers.
Is it AFC or NFC?
AFC.
AFC.
2019.
Jerry Jeudy?
Nope.
No, Jerry Jeudy had terrible quarterback play.
Garrett Wilson? Garrett? No, he wasn't. He was only in the second year.
Yeah. No. 2019.
Yep. Was his rookie year.
2019. That was the year after Josh came out.
Ayuk?
Nope.
No.
I don't know.
Metcalf?
Nope.
Cool.
Debo?
Nope.
Okay.
This is Hollywood Brown.
Yeah, heck no. He ain't number one. He was drafted in the first round, wasn't he?
So I will bet money. This is Xavier Worthy's best option. He will never do better than this guy.
Then Hollywood Brown?
Never.
Wow.
Coming from a receiver who knows receivers, he doesn't have it. He just don't. I don't care who his quarterback is. He ain't got it. It's not
Eddie
him.
King.
Bro, it's not him.
You ain't got it. You ain't going to get
You ain't got it. You ain't got it.
It's kind of a long bet, but you want to put some wings on it?
Matter of fact, I'll put a caveat. I'll give him 3 years. I guarantee you he may get 1,000-yard season, but the 3 years he's not going to be a premier wide receiver.
Anybody at home want to mark that down?
Okay,
I'm definitely going to forget.
How are you evaluating the threshold of, number one receiver?
So, for example, that's why I asked y'all, do y'all think he's the number one? Based off your answers, based off the numbers, he's just said no. So
okay, so you're saying the numbers got to validate him. Okay,
right.
Okay.
And I'm saying this is him at his best.
Yeah, I don't want no part of this wing bet because I don't think Xavier Worthy's number one either. So I don't
even with the Chiefs because look at last game. Did you see the wide receiver numbers for the Chiefs last game? Atrocious. If we would have had those numbers, y'all would have said get rid of every wide receiver.
I already said that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna bet because if the Chiefs were really worried about having a number one wide receiver, they would have gotten one by now, and they just haven't. You know what I'm saying?
Mind you, this is the first time they drafted a first-round wide receiver in a while.
Yeah, since Dwayne Bowe.
So what does that tell you? That they were looking for this guy to be that, and he is not it. So in other words, this is a miss.
Oh wait, no.
Because it's the Chiefs, it's okay because it's a miss.
Didn't they draft Sky Moore in the first round? What round?
Sky Moore wasn't first. He was. Oh, let's look it up. Sky Moore.
I could have swore he was a late first or something like that. Sky Moore?
Second. 54th.
Second round pick. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I like I said, I just don't think Andy Reid drafted him with the intent of being a number one. As weird as it sounds. I think it was a piece that he was like, I have to have it.
Yeah.
But he was like Rasheed Rice, Travis Kelce, and who's the other one?
Skylar Gray?
No, the other wide receiver. Don't they still have
Juju?
Technically, they got Hollywood Brown, but he's hurt.
What's the other guy that they had before?
Oh, McCole
Hardman. Yeah. I figured they was like, just throw him in there as a slot gadget guy, like the premier gadget guy.
Yeah.
That's how I thought they were going to use him. But I just, if they thought he was the number one, I'd be like, nah, don't do that. But,
Yeah.
I know. I'm starting to sweat.
Gosh. Oh, wow.
I'm like,
wow.
I appreciate you, my boy.
Yeah, he looking out. He looking out. All right, we got to get this thing going. We got to get this thing going.
I appreciate you, my boy.
Things change November 3rd.
They do. Okay. I got to pull it up because I'm on here.
Yep.
All right. So, anybody thirsty? I am. And you know what you should
I
have?
sure am. Listen, I just talked to the folks at Reed's Tea. I'm going to have a bottle to crack at the end of every episode. So soon. I cannot wait. Every single episode. All right, y'all have a good night. Crack. That's going to be me every time.
I'm going to bring a thimble in so you can pour a little of my thimble. I'll take a shot. So in case you guys didn't know, we're talking about Reed's Tea. Reed's Tea is 1 part refreshing, 1 part delicious, 2 parts healthy. That's what you can expect when there are only 4 ingredients. I don't even drink tea, but let me tell you, that's a good drink there. What are you doing? Head on over to Reed's. Get your supply by the case or individuals. Always do that. Just get the case. Trust me. You won't be disappointed. But what do I know? See for yourself. Reed's Tea. Click the link in the description and use DO to let them know who sent you.
All right. Listen, if you have not done so already, please, pretty please, like, subscribe, hit that bell, make that thing
Ring-a-ling-a-ling.
so that you can get notifications when we send notifications like Coach D's Corner coming up this week, right? We said last week we're going to air it at the very latest. It's going to come out on Wednesday, all right? Because we need time to get to the All-22. Depending on how we record the show, we may do it live, we may record it beforehand, but either way, latest y'all can look for that is Wednesday afternoon. Other than that, social media links are in the chat if you want to get a hold of us at any point to just rap. You know what I'm saying? I'll be talking to my man Steve. I'll be talking to Laura all the time. Who else? We'll be talking to Dorothy, but Dorothy don't really be in the chat all like that. Nah. Who else has hit us up before?
A couple other people.
Yeah. But anyway, listen, we here for all of it.
Man,
right?
find me on X. I'll be posting on during game days. I really do.
You be everywhere though.
I'll be trying, man. I'm trying to get into the 21st century, baby.
Yeah, same. All right, listen, enough old talk for now. We thank y'all for watching the show. We thank y'all for hanging out with us. And foremost and mostly, we thank y'all for commenting in the chat. Like,
yes.
all of that drives the show. I know we don't get to as many as we used to, and we're trying to incorporate that as much as possible and still get all this information out, you know, while we're managing the time and all that kind of stuff. Let me ask y'all this too, or just put it in the chat or comment, whatever. Do y'all want a longer show? Because we have talked about that before. We are getting to the point where we might be able to open up a little bit more time and stuff like that. So let us know if y'all would appreciate a longer show, or if you want a shorter show. Let us know. With that said, this has been the Post Podium Podcast, home of the all truth, no sodium takes. I have been your co-host Aramis,
Melly Mac.
For the keys. See ya.
Have a good night.
Peace.